Hey guys, John here, and welcome to Streamaday. Streamaday number 48, and tonight we are going to be seeing the finale of Star Fox Zero. This may be the first time that this has ever happened since Streamaday began, but I don't think anybody's here. I mean, maybe I threw everyone off when I streamed 30 minutes later last night. And everybody just thought that was the new time, but goodness, people, look at Twitter. So I don't really want to freaking explain the whole thing or even start, because then I'm just going to have to repeat it all, and people are going to say, why are you streaming the finale of Star Fox Zero instead of just making a Let's Play? Gosh dang it, where is everyone? Gosh dang it, Bobber! No, but for real though. Where are my people at? My peeps, where you be? Did I miss something? Is today a holiday? Today something special? I don't think so. It's International Friendship Day. We can see how much people care about that. How about legit though? Well, okay, fine. I'll just explain it for the eventual YouTube audience. I recorded the final, like, 4 episodes or whatever, maybe more, of Star Fox Zero, and I had an issue with the audio. It ruined the audio. Basically, it is unwatchable, or unlistenable. I don't know, whatever. You wouldn't want to, because it's terrible audio, and yeah. So basically, my choices were post commentate the whole thing, or record the whole game over again from the beginning, because once you beat Star Fox Zero, you'd have to start over from the beginning to get back to that point. Or do what I'm doing here, which is similar to the way that Justin and I did our E3 thing. I'm going to be watching the footage back and commentating here on the stream, and it's all going to be in one chunk instead of split into episodes. So that's how this is going to work. Obviously, we're not going to get my initial raw first reactions to things, but like I said, there was no salvaging that audio. You probably won't even be able to hear it. Like, if I cranked it, you could probably hear it, but it's really bad. So I've got it super low. I'm going to keep my music playing, and then hopefully it won't be too annoying. And then I'll just kind of give my thoughts about things as they happen. But seriously though, still nobody? Well, Mama Wolf's in chat, but gosh dang it, where is everyone? Seriously, did I like pick the worst possible time to start? I picked my usual time. Gosh dang it, people. Oh well, I'll just start then. But yeah, so let's see. I have to open the where? Dang it, why did I close that window? Star Fox Zero. No, don't start yet. Go back to the beginning. Go. Uh-huh. Okay. And then if I pop this screen up, boop. Alright. We could probably crop out this stupid toolbar at the bottom. Nobody needs to deal with that. Get in the way. There we go. Even that out a little bit more. I guess I was late one whole night. And then everybody just assumes the worst, I guess. They've been listening to Conrad preaching his doom and destruction about my uploads and streams. Alright, okay. So, just gonna hit the play button. And oop, Well, that's why I didn't crop it, because I was going to make it full screen anyway. I'm dumb. There we go. Alright. So yeah, the in-game audio, you're not going to be able to hear it. Oh, Ace, you're over in the YouTube chat. Well, YouTube doesn't show me a list of who's watching. It just never works. So, hello. I didn't know you were here. It's not my fault. You weren't speaking. I'm used to you being in the other chat anyway. But yeah, anyway. All right. So, this is where I had left off. Um, the last time I had reached Fucina, and so this is the mission there. We had to try to take out a certain number of ships. Um, and it's not actually like you have to reach the number 30. I don't know why it's glitching there either. There's little glitches that happened every now and then, which I don't really understand. But anyway, it's probably part of why the audio disrupted the whole thing. Wow. Ace, I didn't say you couldn't be in YouTube chat. I said I'm not used to you being in YouTube chat. Anyway, yeah, so there's definitely little issues with it here and there, but it's mostly watchable, so it should be fine. We won't really get any sound effects or anything, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think you actually have to hit the number 30. I think that's related to the getting the medal or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I don't hit number 30, if I recall. But this fight here was just mostly, in my opinion, filler, because obviously there's bigger things ahead. This is just circle around, shoot things, loop every time somebody gets behind you. There wasn't much going on. Colin Rad, you're here. Welcome. You're late. I'm going to give you crap about that. You're always giving me crap about being late with videos. You're late to the stream. Anyway. But yeah, this fight is just filler, to be honest. It's not that great, to be honest. And that was, I feel, part of the problem with the game on the whole, is that there are situations where they just have you do stuff and it just feels like filler. The game's not that long anyway, and so I feel like they could have taken their time to make maybe some more quality fights, but you know, we'll get into my full thoughts by the time we hit the end of this this deal. But this part annoyed me, actually, because they make you switch to the Landmaster because you have to, quote unquote, you know, be able to shoot under these things to hit them, and then hit them from above. That's why they give you the flying mode. But this whole area becomes so much more annoying because you're on the ground. It's like now you have to shoot it from the top, and yet your homing thing just does not want to cooperate. I was also having trouble remembering the controls at first because it had actually been like a month or so between sessions of this, and so that's why I derp around quite a bit. No, this is literally, this is it, Taco, I'm so sorry. I called you Taco. This is it, Colinrad. This is the final hour and a half of the game that I recorded, but I don't know if you saw on Twitter the other day, but I said that my recording failed. The audio got messed up. And some of the video is a little glitchy now and then, but the video is mostly fine. It's just the audio was ruined, so I couldn't put it up as videos. And so instead, we're sitting here watching it on the stream so that you guys can at least see that I beat the game and see how the game ends. Unfortunately, this is the best that I can do for now because the audio was destroyed, basically. Once in a while, you might hear something in the background. Plus, my closing thoughts at the end when the credits roll, you can hear my voice pretty clearly in that. So I'll put the volume up for the closing credits so you can hear my thoughts on the game and everything. That's about it. Yeah, then I'll add it to the finished games. I will probably play the game on stream again at some point because there's actually entire levels that I wasn't able to get to because you have to meet certain requirements per level, and then it unlocks another path. So there's a few extra levels, and I think a different ending or a different ending fight. So someday I'll probably stream going through trying to get the hard path unlocked, but for now we're just going to do this. I plan on playing the Assassin's Creed games. Yeah, possibly. I do have several of them. I don't know if I want to start from the beginning and go through them though, because the first game is kind of not so amazing. Assassin's Creed 2 is pretty good. So I don't know. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. But anyway, so yeah, now the boss has arrived, and like I was talking about this area just being a filler fight until something big happened. This is what happens that's big. Now, at first I didn't understand what I was supposed to do with this at all. Plus, they keep these little guys flying around to just make this way more annoying. But the point here was you have to take out the leg joints. And as you can see, they have you home in and target on it, but you actually can't hit it because of the leg itself, which is really dumb. Furthermore, they encourage you to fly using the Landmaster's new hover abilities, but you just end up flying into it and taking a bunch of damage. It's just so frustrating. This whole thing was just, in my opinion, not great, but it is a thing. Alright, thank you for not spoiling. I appreciate that. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things about this that they could have done better, in my opinion. Like the hit detection on that should have been maybe a little more generous. Ace, you must have missed the beginning where I explained that this is just a... Actually, I've explained it twice now. This is just a video. I recorded the remaining episodes of the series, but the audio was destroyed. So that's why I'm sharing this footage with you guys now, because otherwise I would have had to have replayed the entire game to get back to this point, and I was not about to do that. Anyway, so this is a recording. It is hands-free. If I was using cheat codes, I wouldn't be as bad as I am. Look at this crap here. That's another thing, is like, throughout the game, they kind of encourage you to land on bosses, and, oh, at this point, I had no clue that was about to happen. That was really annoying. But, anyway, they encourage you to, like, land on the bosses and find weak points. But if this one, you land on it, it damages you and throws you off. So it's like, this game just kept doing crap like this. Oh, you're just messing with me, Ace. Okay. Fine. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to give the part where I gave my final thoughts, that part's still intact, so you'll get to hear my final thoughts, but spoiler alert, I wish this game was a little better than it actually is. Now see, this part was annoying the first time because I didn't realize that there was a specific side I needed to be on with these. Like, see, this happened again where I landed on top of it, not because I wanted to, because the boost ran out and I got thrown off. But yeah, I didn't realize that the boss wasn't going to turn, because you know how things usually are in Star Fox games. They always end up showing their weak point sooner or later. In this case, that's not how it was at all. The weak points, I took them out on the front, and then it just continued to move pretty much the same way, and so I didn't realize at first that I needed to change what I was doing, which of course right now I'm continuing to attack the legs on the same side, not realizing that, you know, I mean, I probably should have realized, because you can see the spikes aren't there, but in my mind it was just, oh, it's moving toward me, now I shoot these things, because that's the Star Fox way. I also kept forgetting to barrel roll, which would have saved me a lot of damage there. But yeah, see, now the spikes are on the other side, and then he just grows the legs right back, and I'm like, what the frick? That doesn't seem fair at all. And then he does this stomp thing, which is almost impossible to get away from, especially if you're facing towards him. It's just like, what the frick ever. I'm spoiling the game and what I have to do. This is true. This is very true. I'm spoiling all kinds of things. No, but yeah, I don't know. This game had a recurring theme in my opinion, which was that it wasn't as good as it should be. And consider, see, I did it again. I don't know why I was so dumb not to pick up on it the first time, but then I was like, oh, crap, the legs just go straight back. Why is this happening? It's because you're an idiot, John. That's why. But but also they could have made it a little more apparent. But yeah, and all through this, it's the targeting reticule. Every other Star Fox game where you're in the R-Wing or the Landmaster or whatever, the targeting reticule was just always straightforward. But because they added motion controls with the gamepad, suddenly the targeting reticule was just changing position all the time. And it wouldn't even be your fault. It's not like you just suddenly were sitting sideways or something. The reticule was just like, no, I'm over here now. And they're like, press this button to reset the reticule. Okay, fine, but I shouldn't have to do that literally every 5 minutes. Like, it was, yeah. In my opinion, one of those flaws that it really killed the immersion of the game because I was constantly having to fix that and not getting the shots I needed to get and stuff like that. But yeah, it's true. I admit that that I am pretty dumb sometimes. Now here, I was like, well, I can't hit that from far away. Well, you could have, John, but although the terrain actually lent itself to being really bad for that, because like those little hills could get in the way of your shots, or you could be at an angle and it was just causing you to, even though you were shooting straight, you were shooting, you know, at an angle weird. Stupidly annoying. But then you've got this situation where it's like, okay, I still have to attack the thing on top, so I have to keep taking out the legs. This battle was so long, and it, in my opinion, even though I derped around with it, I don't know what else I really could have done to speed it up aside from just stop sucking at this, like this stage right here. Like, oh, I'm going to hammer away at it, I'm going to hammer away at it, I'm going to hammer away at it, because I kept thinking I had to get close to it, but as you can see, that's just going to damage me more. And then this happens, where the bomb falls, knocks me forward, and then stomp happens, and I back into it right here, because the camera turned, and I backed straight into it. So now you're going to see time has warped, because I died, and now I'm further along than I was. Which point did I do this? Oh, did I leave some of the spike? Oh, I thought I edited further ahead than this. There's still 2 spikes that have to be taken out. I could actually skip ahead, couldn't I? Let's skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so at this point, I was starting to learn the tells on this part, and so I just started trying to get away as quickly as possible. This music is so epic for this moment. Another thing I was really annoyed with right here was that they kept dying, my teammates. There was literally no other ships flying around. They just kept flying into the boss and taking damage until they eventually all died. And I was like, how the frick am I supposed to keep them alive other than do this faster, which that second time I went through, I actually did it really fast. I don't know. The whole thing was stupidly annoying in my opinion. But that boss fight left me unhappy. Like, by the time I finished that particular recording, I was just like, frick everything. But I did all of this in one session, so my saltiness would continue to build. Unfortunately, you're not going to hear any of those reactions, but I was starting to get pretty angry. But I'm sitting there like, what the frick? How am I supposed to keep them alive when they're just going to fly into that thing? They weren't taking damage from enemies. They were literally just flying into the boss over and over again until they died. I don't know. Just more of the same with this game, in my opinion, where it was just like, I want to like this a lot, but there's this thing or that thing that just makes me go, ugh, really? So, yeah. I don't know. It's sad. It's pretty sad. So then we go on from Fatina to this place, which is sector. I don't even know what that symbol's supposed to be. Omega, maybe. I can't. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, point is, it's some sort of like black hole vortex thing. I mean, they called it a debris field, but that doesn't look like a debris field to me. I like how General Pepper is just like, hey, you want to get there fast? Go through this thing. Because that looks safe. But yeah. I don't even know. So yeah, anyway, so there's this place, and this place was weird to me. Like, he says we're going top speed, right? It didn't dawn on me how freaking true that is until you're starting to try to dodge things, because this level just, it moves ridiculously fast. Now, that would be a cool idea, and there's parts of this that are pretty cool, like, I'm still terrible. Don't, you know, that's the thing. But there's other things where there's just, like, no way I could possibly react to that on the first way through. And, of course, games like this are meant to encourage you to play them again and again and again, right? But I feel like it's supposed to be a twitch shooter, right? So you're supposed to have at least a moment where you're like, oh, I need to do this. And there's a couple spots in this where it is just ridiculous. There's like, you know, a couple of them we already passed to where it's just like, how the frick am I supposed to make that decision that quickly? Go to the mystery black hole, or door number 2. But I mean, and then there's spots here where, like, obviously they want you to kill a certain amount of enemies so that you can get, you know, the gold medal at the end or whatever. And it's like, there's no freaking way. Some of these go by so fast, there's no way that you can actually get them all. So it's, I don't know, it's annoying. A couple times it feels really janky too when the directions change and the camera is just like, oh, which way am I looking? It's, Like I said, I want to say that it's, like this part right here. There was no room once you got up to that point to choose a path. Like, I don't know. The idea of blasting, like, super fast, like a, you know, Kessel Run kind of situation where you're, like, at the edge of your seat, you're about to die or you're going to make it. And it's like, I don't know. I want to think it's amazing, but then at the same time, it seems like poor level design, too. But I don't know. This part's kind of interesting because it's like, pick the hole that's going to get you through. Obviously, I missed that one entirely. And this part's fine. Like, it's easy to dodge the stuff. You can see what you're doing, whatever. There's just one or two spots where it's like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Alright, so is this where the boss comes? Okay, this irritated me to no end, and it's because they recreated a boss fight from Star Fox 64. This is the guy that you fight, the exact same ship that you fight at the end of the first level. However, you're about to see the reason I hate it. Watch what Fox says. All range mode. Why? This battle was always done just like this, just like the traditional way. Head to head, you know, two moving things going the same speed or whatever, and you're just taking out the things as they come. They made a battle where you need to be face to face with the enemy circling around for no reason, and you having to try not to run into it. And when his hatch is open to release the things, guess what? You're too close or you're too far off to the side, and I'm like pulling on the brake and I'm trying not to hit it, and it's like, okay, here I'm going to do this, and then he starts to turn again, and it's like I got like 2 hits in. And now I got to try not to get hit by him. Like, why did they make this fight all range mode? Why? It hurts my soul. Because, like, it would have been fine for them to throw in this and you'd be like, oh, I remember this fight. And for it to play out the same way would have that feeling of nostalgia. Instead, it's just like, why the frick did they do this fight like this? I don't understand it. I don't know. I was trying to get that, and I almost hit him, but yeah. So yeah, this fight is just unnecessarily, like, artificial difficulty added just because he's moving around. I guess I wouldn't say it's artificial because it does indeed make it more difficult, so it's not artificial, I guess. But it lengthens the fight considerably because look at that, you just get one or two little hits in because suddenly he's moving the other way, and then there's constantly these freaking things following you around, which is so annoying. See, he just runs right into me even though I looped. It's just like, ugh. I didn't want to make this whole thing just a salty complaining fest, but oh my gosh. And then finally I'm like, I'm gonna use a bomb on it, and then the bomb does serious damage, which I really wish I had thought of sooner. The debris, some of the debris has health in it, which is nice. I don't know. I just, I guess my feeling on it was I wish they hadn't recreated a fight and then changed the way that the fight worked to make it a way that is just, you know, like I say, artificially lengthening it to make it harder. It's just, I don't know. I hate it. I'm not okay with it. And there's more and more of these freaking guys, which was just added annoyance at that point. It's hard enough to hit him without having to deal with their stupidity. The only reason I was blowing them up really was because I was hoping that they would drop some extra bombs or something. Because the bombs, you know, did big damage. Most of the time I was just getting run into by them, not even shot by them, which is just like... But then, I don't know if you noticed, like half the time they're running into the boss and blowing themselves up, which is similar to what Falco and them were doing in the last boss. So it's just like the AI in this was just... I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not going to complain for this whole rest of this thing, though, because there are some things that I like that lie ahead, but there are definitely more complaints to come, too. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. So then at this point, I'm like, well, at least I know what comes next, right? Like, after you knock all the compartments off, you just start shooting at him and doing damage to him. No. No. Then he opens up, and he's got a core, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll shoot the core. That's not the end of it, because you know this mini boss fight hadn't gone on long enough. We got to make it like the spider boss guy and make it go on for freaking ever, because he has not one but 4 of these compartments with a core in it. And it's not like the lasers are hard to dodge, like it's gonna, you know, kill you or anything. I mean, it could, I suppose, but it's just like, oh, good, I get to look forward to just doing more and more and more and more of this as he turns and does all this crap here. Waiting for him to get into position, and then by the time he does, I'm too close. It's just like, I'm like holding on the brakes, pulling back for all my might. Please, just don't run into him until, you know, he turns enough for me to shoot his stupid cores. And then that's when I get hit by the thing. I was saying that you weren't likely to get hit by it, but you are when you're trying to actually hit the stupid things. And then here I just drive through it. I'm not even sure why that happens, how it worked. I would rather have died there because there's no point in... It doesn't make any sense. How the frick did I just phase through that? Yes, I took damage, but come the frick on, game. But yeah, anyway. Luckily this time he started doing that from farther away, which enabled me to try to get into a better... Actually, no, this is not the one, is it? No, this one I was out of position. Too far away to really hit him. Yeah, I was. So, as you can see now, he's going to close up, he's going to fly around. It's just like, oh my god, why? Why is this a thing? Why is this happening? Yeah, so... See, and he does this weird thing where he almost, like, pulls back to position himself, so it's like, oh, here, you're going to need this to be able to hit it. But then it like tilts and it changes, and I'm trying to hit it. The stupid glitchy recording would stop doing that. I think, yeah, okay, I get one there, and then I'm like one shot away from that one, and he closes up, and I'm just so aggravated at this point. Um, so yeah, so I'm thinking, well, I need to get some health, so I'm going to check this debris over here. And luckily, well, no, this one didn't. It had the laser upgrade, which is good, but I was hoping for health. Is this the one that has it? Yeah, this is the one that has it. Which is a nice touch, you know, that they hid stuff out there that you could blow up to get. But at this point, I'm thinking, I was like one shot from killing this fricker. And so I pull myself to the side, which of course was the wrong side, but if you're lined up perfectly with him, it is more than likely you're going to get hit. But I think, yeah, he was just one shot, one freaking shot. Meanwhile, my teammates were doing crap all. They're flying around. They could have shot him once, did they? No. I don't know. I'm so salty about it. I think I'm more salty because the audio got corrupted and I couldn't put it up the way it was. So it's like now I'm just remembering all the things that I really hated about it, and some of which I probably bit my tongue and didn't talk about. But yeah, it's the thing. And they're all like, oh, you didn't get the gold. And I'm just like, who the frick even cares? Like, at this point, I don't care. But anyway. So we get through this area that was supposed to be a shortcut to Venom. And, yeah, Venom has disappeared. There wasn't a cutscene to show this happen. And then he's all like, come back to Corneria because there's a way to get there. It's like, why did it disappear? When did it disappear? How did it disappear? It's a freaking planet. And he's just like, come back to Corneria. And it's just, that part felt so janky and so just abrupt. But anyway, so then it's like, okay, we're going back to Corneria. Now here's something that I kind of like to pull away from the complaining, and that's that I don't know if it's exactly the same, but basically you're entering Corneria, right? But you're entering it from a different direction. I think it's the opposite direction, although some of the layout stuff is not exactly the same, I don't think. But it's basically like when we get up to this spot up here, you'll definitely see what I mean. Also, the way that faded in, that bugged me too. Like graphically, that bugged me. They could have showed just like the edge of it coming on screen. Like the way that faded in was like weird to me. But anyway, so yeah, as you get to this part, you kind of remember like coming from the other direction, swooping through and going through that arch there. And then up here, you're going to see like the door and stuff that we came in from the other side. So I liked this a lot. I liked that they had you entering a familiar place, but from a different viewpoint. Now here I was like taking serious damage because this part was actually pretty difficult. Those guys there take a lot of hits unless you get a charge shot on them. Everything else is hitting you with stuff, and then there's lots of freaking buildings and pillars and stuff to run into. Giant turrets shooting at you. I'm gonna guess that a lot of people probably had trouble with this level, like on a first pass situation. But I wasn't expecting him to throw that at all either, which was a thing. But anyway, but again, I did like this whole idea of how they entered this level, and that's how this was with a lot of these things in the games. Like, I really like this idea. I just don't like necessarily how they put it into effect. Here I was almost dead. I was like, please, please, someone drop a silver ring or a gold ring because I am dying. I was convinced that I was going to have to do this over again. Let's see. I remember where it was that I actually got. Oh, in this part, you remember when you take the secret path in Star Fox 64 when you're in Corneria, and you go through the part and the things are dropping and they shoot fire up. This part pays homage to that section, which is cool. And then now we're in sort of a river thing with these weird spiky things, which I don't even know if you can kill them. Maybe if you shoot a bomb, I don't know. But I didn't seem like I was going to be doing enough damage to them to kill them. I'm just trying to live at this point. Which, luckily, they all dropped freaking gold rings, and you're back in business. Oh, and I just barely got that medal. Alright, so. Here they've got you, like, targeted in on that, tower, right? That's not at all what you're supposed to be focusing on. At this point, they want you to do another one of those survive / kill as many guys as you can for a medal, which again it's just artificially lengthening this scenario. There's nothing new here. There's no new enemies, really. It's just, hey, look, there's stuff, and, you know, you can shoot it, and, like, yeah, I don't know. And that whole fading out thing, there was no need for that. It could have just blown into bits, but, you know, that guy I could not kill for some reason. But yeah, and we'd already been in this area before, early in the game, obviously. And so, like, they reused this section entirely. They just kind of changed what you're doing. And I feel like they just kept repeating a lot of the same things at this point, too, which, you know, I feel like could have been avoided. But anyway, so like here, another thing to keep in mind too is the gamepad has the cockpit view, well, most of the time, and then the TV is what you're seeing here. And obviously I can't record the gamepad, but for me, what was really annoying was there were times where you literally had to look at the gamepad, right? But like switching between the two just was way more disorienting than it needed to be. I feel like they were just trying to implement like an almost like DS style of gameplay in some of these sections where you had the two screens that you had to, you know, do stuff with, or something you had to tap on or whatever. And it's like for this part right here, like, I could have flown into that tower and killed myself. So I had to keep, like, looking down at the gamepad to, like, position myself away from it. It's like... Anyway. So, at this point, we're getting what looks like we're gonna head straight into the final boss stuff, right? But no. We needed another mini-boss to drag out this same area that we had been in before. And then we get this, which is Gigarilla. I don't know who named this creature, but clearly they need to be a little bit more original. Also, you may have faintly heard me in the background of that. Like, I managed to get louder than the game briefly and complain about how hard he hit me. That point right there, I had accidentally transformed into walker mode, and I do that like 2 or 3 more times annoyingly because I don't realize that there's 2 different things you can press to do that, and I keep doing it accidentally, which is bad. But anyway, so then here I'm all like, you know, what I need to do, and I'm like, oh, maybe this giant X. I thought, well, I'd shoot some bombs at it, but I don't even know if I was actually hitting it. Also, somehow that... I don't even know what happened there, okay? Like, I hit him, and then he... Like, I hit him from behind, and then somehow he grabbed me and then threw me off the ground, and I blew up. It was just like a weird glitchy thing that happened, and it really annoyed me. Let's see. I think we can probably skip a little ahead here. Alright, so here, what was I don't know what I was even doing. Oh, I was trying to get away from him because he kept shooting that giant beam. This whole fight is just about keeping your distance from him, basically, and trying to get behind him. There's nothing that you can do to hurt him from the front. All you can do is ever, take damage. And then of course he shoots these homing missiles, which I actually didn't notice until they hit me, and then I was like, oh crap. Meanwhile, still trying to hit this X, still accidentally hitting stupid walker mode. Oh, this was pretty clutch here. How I boosted away from the missile and went through the building. Then I was like, there's a freaking laser upgrade here? How was I supposed to know that? And then meanwhile, I fly straight into a terrible spot where he's just barraging me with freaking laser fire, so that's fantastic. Oh. And then I freaking turned into the walker again. It's like the third or fourth time. I'm almost dead, so I'm like, didn't I leave a ring somewhere? And then he's like, right there. He destroys a building, which, I mean, that's a cool touch, but for the most part, this boss was just crap. I mean, he shot things, he meandered around, and he was hard to get behind, but I don't know, the whole thing was just kind of whatever. That was very tight, but I managed to get a couple of rings there for health, so then I was like, well, I'm back in this thing. So here I'm trying to boost away from his laser fire. Did an okay job of that. And it just so happened that he didn't turn around that time, and I was able to get the shot off. Now here's where it gets even stranger. And I got a medal. Woohoo. Here's where it gets even stranger. You still have to get behind it. Like at first I'm thinking, oh, so do I need to shoot him? And then Falco's like, no, keep your distance. So I'm like, oh, okay, so definitely don't get close. And then that's when I see the green thing, which right now I think my reticule was all screwed up too. You can see how I was kind of like aiming weird. But I see I think I see the green thing at this point. Yeah, I did. And I was like, how am I supposed to do this? Didn't I do this with the gyrocopter and let the little robot guy down? But then I remembered that the walker mode also had something to do with this. And so I was trying to get close enough to turn into it, and then at that point I couldn't remember how to turn into it. I'd done it by accident 4 times, but at that point I couldn't remember how to turn into the walker, and I was so aggravated. Plus it's an extremely hard thing to land on. It's so small, but then I'm like, and I'm like, well, that was close. So I'm trying it again here. I'm almost dead. And then finally I land it. Press the button and guess what happens? He turns off. That's it. I mean, I don't know, guys. I waited so long for a new Star Fox game. And it's Star Fox 64 is my favorite game of all time, and I really wanted to love this, but yeah. Anyway, so here's Andros, and yeah, we're having the traditional, I don't know why that exchange was necessary. Andros, like frick yeah, of course it is. Anyway, so we had the usual exchange. The portal is closing. Going in alone. I mean, this was kind of predictable, except for the fact that what I assumed was about to happen doesn't actually happen. But we'll see that in a minute. Mr. McBlam, welcome to the stream. Since you missed the explanation, I recorded the final few episodes of Star Fox Zero, but the audio was corrupted. So instead we're streaming the footage, showing it off, and I'm commentating this way. But I'm not actually currently playing, hands-free. But anyway. So you get this thing where it's like Fox is going after Andros. Like, oh, it's going to happen. This is the fight. But no, it's not. You get in here and suddenly General Pepper's talking to you somehow through some old destroyed freaking satellite thing in the middle of some vortex portal crap. And, so it's like, no, the boss fight isn't happening right now. And so he's explaining to you like the backstory. Like, this is the time. It's like, we have to stop Andros right now. Go through the portal. Oh, you might die. But first, let me tell you freaking everything that's happened in the last 20 years. Oh my god. Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Doing a little movie review. But he's like, "Will you help us?" I'm I'm in a vortex. I went through a portal that closed behind me, and he's asking us, "Will you help us?" We're already here. We don't have a choice but to help you. Anyway, so at this point, I had seen a ring down there underneath that force, or right here. I see the ring up here on his force field, right? And I'm like, well, I don't know what that means. And so I switch into walker mode, and immediately I'm getting pelted by turrets or whatever. But here I'm like, okay, I get no explanation on what really is happening here, what I need to do, okay? It just throws me into the situation where I'm like, okay, well, it looks like I need to go down here. So I turn into the walker, I'm going down here. And needless to say, if I had flown on a bit more, I would have made this whole thing a whole lot simpler. Instead, as you're about to see, I'm going to... Sorry about it being glitchy again. I'm surprised the footage even came out this well, but the audio was definitely destroyed. Except for the end credits where I'm going to let you guys hear it, as I said, where I give my closing thoughts for sure. But anyway, at this point, I'm just trying to like, okay, so maybe it's like a maze, but it's not. I should have just flown on the way that I was aiming for when I got here, just a little bit further. But anyway. So I decided to leave that ring because I had full health. Welcome back, Colin Red. So I'm making my way through here like, well, I mean, is it a maze? Like, oh, there's a golden ring. That's cool, I guess. I needed that. Round and round and round. Now you're seeing that beam that we saw before. Okay. And you see this structure. And I'm thinking to myself, well, it's a dead end. Can I fly up around the edge? I can't. I don't think I could have flown up there. Those look like they jut out, but I don't think they do. It's because I went the entire wrong way than I should have from the beginning. If I just flown straight ahead and then dropped down, none of this would have happened, but whatever. Again, they didn't make that clear. Alright, so I decided to walk down here and then try to make a turn to see what else I can find in this maze, which isn't really a maze. But I was like confused. I'm like, well, where is that, you know, that big beam of light coming from? Because that's clearly what I need to, you know, get to. And this whole area is so barren. It is so barren. There's literally nothing going on here. And I was talking before about like, and here I'm like looking on my screen and I can see the targeting thing going there. And sometimes the R-Wing just locks that way. It's just like, boom, go this way. And I'm like, what? Anyway, so I get up here and I'm like, wait, so no, the arrow's over there. But see, this side actually has some like actual jut outs that you can go up. Like, not here. Not here. Right beside it. There you go. And so then you're able to climb up and get on top of this thing and then immediately get destroyed by the stupid turret. Anyway, so now I'm on the surface. Okay. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I need to take out all of these things because they still haven't given me any direction at this point on what I need to do. Did I not see that? Like, I just saw it now, but tell me I don't miss that. I did miss that, didn't I? There's a hatch right back there, and I just walked away from it, didn't I? Maybe I was getting this health. Maybe I'm not that stupid. I can't remember exactly how this happened. I only recorded it the other day, and I've already forgotten. Oh yeah, I think I was just going to get the health. Anyway, whatever. The point is, all I was given was this arrow that I finally found, but I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do about it. But then I go in here. You guys aren't even going to be able to see this, but on the gamepad, they were showing me making my way through this little tunnel. Yeah. So I was able to click one of those monitor things and diminish the portal, or the beam. Whatever. He says keep it up, okay? So my initial thought is I've got to do the same thing again somewhere else. He's like, the beam is diminished, keep it up. What does that tell you? It tells me I need to keep doing the same thing. Well, as it turns out, as we're about to see, I didn't need to do that at all. I ended up wandering all over this freaking planet, which I don't think I remember to edit it out, but the point is, I wander everywhere for nothing. All I had to do was fly up there on top of that thing that I was just at, but obviously I'm not going to do that. But I don't want to actually accidentally skip ahead too far and spoil it, so I'm just going to let this play out for the moment. But as you can see, this place is completely barren. There's occasionally turrets that you can destroy and maybe get something out of it, but for the most part, it's not worth it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This whole area didn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, just this big empty place. I think I could play Star Wars Battlefront 2 in one of the streams. I have in the past, but maybe I'll have another look at it again at some point. Mostly I play the new Battlefront, you know, but yeah, maybe I can do a classic Battlefront night. That would be cool. So I'm thinking then that maybe I just need to take out all of these things, right? I wish I hadn't had that thought. I wish my thought process had been, gee, John, maybe you should go back and look at that that thing where you turned off the switch. No, my thought is still, General Pepper said, keep it up, the beam is diminished. Not gone, diminished. So I thought there's still more to do. There wasn't. I know, I'm ranting at this point. It's simply because I have so many mixed emotions about this game. I feel like all games like this, I almost should post-commentate or do something like this because it enables me to rant more than, you know, while I'm playing it. But it's like, this is so dumb. I've got no guidance, no arrow pointing where to go, no real enemies other than a couple of these turrets, nothing distinguishing on this hunk of rock that tells me go here. And it's just like, why the frick am I doing this? And I luckily ended up walking out right back at the spot where the thing was here. And that's when I see over here, oh, there's steps going up this way. So what happens if I go over here? Which, like I said, I wish I had freaking done. But again, nothing's happening, nothing distinguishing. You know, there's a turret, you know, whatever. And I'm like, what happens? And then randomly, I touch the right spot to trigger this cutscene. Now this part, I'm going to say that I loved. The way that Star Wolf's Wolfens, their ships, transform into beast-like robots is awesome. Oh, I loved it so much. This is like a beautiful thing. I loved seeing Wolf in his Wolfen transform into what looked like a wolf. It was so cool. I love that. But at this point, I'm like thinking, should I be on the ground, like fighting them? I shouldn't. I quickly decided, as you can see, to switch to R-Wing mode, and I stay in it. This fight had me really concerned because it's 1 versus 4, right? And typically the Star Wolf guys hit for a lot, and they have a ton of HP. One thing that's noticeable as far as a difference in this game is that they don't do as much damage to you as they would have in the past. This is glitching more and more, but I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. They don't hit nearly as hard as they would have in the old games. Like, you remember in the old games where, like, if you had lost, like for example in Star Fox 64, if you lost your teammates and you had to face Star Wolf alone, you were just dead. There was no way you were gonna live. Like right now, I'm taking some damage, but there's still lots of health things around. Plus, I was just playing badly at this point because it was honestly the last thing I was expecting when I was lost for freaking 10 minutes. And welcome, James, by the way. Oh, see you, Conrad. You came back long enough to say goodbye. Well, see you next time. You can always watch it on YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, I was playing badly, you know, admittedly, but I think at one point I was going on about how I wished Wolf was in Smash Brothers Wii U. um, but yeah, so at this point I'm worried. Like I'm thinking, maybe I should be focused on picking up some health. But I don't know. It's just like as sloppy as I was playing, as many hits as I was taking and stuff. I feel like if this had been Star Fox, and there goes that reticule thing being all janky and weird, which I freaking hate so much. But anyway, I feel like this has been one of the old games. I would have been dead 5 times over by now. They definitely changed things a lot, how this stuff worked. So here I was just like cruising along for health, but they ended up following me down here, getting in front of me, which wasn't the smartest thing for them. But then they're down in this trench, so they can't really like fly away, or they're not trying to until they get up to the end of it. So it was like I wasn't taking any damage down there at all, and so now I'm at almost full health again. I decided to leave that ring there for later. So, alright. I think I'm going to go back and grab it now, actually, because, yeah, because I went down about a silver ring's worth. No, a little more. But anyway, but yes, like this point, I'm like, okay, so where is their, where's their health? Who's the lowest? Who should I be focusing on? That kind of thing. And then I see Pigma's super low, so I'm going to try to take him out. I mean, I'm still throwing off charge shots at whoever I can. But the smart thing is to focus on one to just limit how many people are shooting at you. Like Wolf was just hanging around, so it's like I was doing my best to hammer away at him. But like taking one out means that it's not 3-on-1, it's 2-on-1 and so on. Or 4-on-1, I guess. Yeah, right. Anyway. Alright, so I'm going to loop here, and I think I'm going to take out Pigma. Yeah. And you see, I don't know. It's taken a while, sure, but I just feel like they used to be so much harder than this. I don't know. And they used to be so much better at ganging up on me, too. A lot of times I feel like 2 or 3 of them are just flying around in circles doing nothing. I bombed him when he was on the ground there, which actually was a good idea. If I had paid more attention to when they were running around on the ground, like here, I would have done that more often. There, I wasted one because I thought I could do a homing bomb, but that's not in this game, so that was definitely a waste. But yeah, that shockwave hits multiples at once, and I think I killed Andrew right there. I did because he dropped a gold ring. So like he wasn't even on my screen, but that shockwave hit him. So there, Wolf is almost dead. And I wanted to save him for last, if I could, because it just felt fitting, right? So I start focusing only on here. And I can't get a homing shot on him to save my life at this point. And then I finally do. But he's really good at dodging them. Wolf trying to kill me here. And then loop away. I'm going to take out Leon. And then now it's going to be time to focus on Mr. O'Donnell. I fired my last bomb completely accidentally and wasted it, which was annoying. Pull back. Fire a couple homing shots. And we're done. So, did I like this battle? Yes, I liked fighting them. I feel like it was easier than it should be, but at the same time you're on your own, so maybe that makes sense. But do I like this whole level? Heck no. The whole being lost and having no guidance on what you should do is stupid. But I did like the Star Wolf battle. It was okay. It was pretty okay. All right, so now we're in the Corridor of Illusion, which is definitely a ripoff from the hard path of, is it only in the hard path? I can't remember when you're fighting or going to fight Andross. You're in this trippy place where you make decisions on which paths to go down. As it turns out, there is a specific pattern you have to take, and I did not realize this at first. As we're gonna see. So I did left first. Okay, that was close. I did left first, then I went right. And there's lots of gold rings and stuff, so you can build up an extra life or two along the way, which is cool. But so you're making your way through here. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, I'll take some damage for that. But I've got the max lasers, which is cool. Then I went left again because I was thinking left, right. Left would be right. Cause so then this happens and it's like super freaking bright. And then okay. So we're still in here. And at first I was thinking, is this the next segment? But that part looked the same, right? And then it's like, oh, here's a choice. And I was like, well, okay, I'll go right this time because maybe I redid it. So watch what happens when you go right. Same big flash again. Except this time, James McCloud shows up. Fox's father. And he's all like, man, you're stupid. Follow me. And so he goes left, which I did the first time. Which made me realize instantly that the pattern is left, right, right. Because I went left, right, left, and it was wrong. Then I tried right, and it was wrong. So I knew what I needed to do was do left, right, right. It's like, I don't know. It's what is that? One of the Mario World games or whatever, where you, if you fail enough times, they let you have the super guide or whatever play it for you, and it's like, you're too stupid to do it here. And so that's when James McCloud comes out and he's all like, please come this way, you idiot. Yeah. Considering it was only 3 paths, it's like, I mean, I would have figured it out. But at the same time, you wonder, like, if I had done that, would I not have seen James McCloud at all? Which seems like an important thing to have done. So I don't know. It's a thing that happened. So then this stuff's falling. You just have to, you know, try to line up where you want to be. The smarter thing is to follow James because he actually goes through where you need to go. But I was just like picking spots randomly and stuff. And then there's metal, and then finally you have another choice, and James goes left, which I suppose would have messed the whole thing up if he hadn't been there and I had chosen right. But I don't even know if that's a possibility, like if you can do that on your own or not, I'm not sure. And it's like here I should have been following him, but I wasn't. I was trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna pick my own path. Whatever. Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy did that as well, that's right. And yeah, so you come through the end of the thing finally, and Andros. So I kind of am thinking at this point, like, I imagine I know what's gonna happen with this fight. It's gonna be his head, his 2 big freaking fists. But no, it's not just that. He's in this giant freaking crystal tower thing. I hope I edited this right. I can't remember if I did or not, but I had a lot of trouble with this. So I see all these rings and I don't really need them, so I'm like, alright, so how do I get in here to fight him directly? And then this starts happening and I'm like, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? Meanwhile, keep in mind that the gamepad screen shows the cockpit view. And that's very important to this, and I wasn't actually paying attention to it at first, which was bad. But I'm like, so can I just like go through here or what? And then I'm taking damage like a moron. But like on this screen, I'm like, well, is that, well, no, there doesn't seem to be a hole there. If I'd been looking at the gamepad, some of these platforms, like that one right there, would be glowing blue on the gamepad screen, which means that there's a hole there. It's so much harder to see on the TV. But I didn't find it that pass at all, and then he started doing this again because he got tired of waiting for me. And these are kind of hard to dodge. I found like I was having an easier time when I was facing away from them and kind of like backing into them. Anyway, so here I'm like, well, I guess I'll pick up this gold ring, but I still don't know how the frick to get in here and fight him. And then he's like, trust your view from the cockpit. And I'm like, oh, wait, so that's blue. And then I don't know why I was so dumb, but I thought I needed to blow them up to get in. I completely missed that there's a gap there, right? I'm still shooting it, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, now he's doing this again, no! And I almost like fly straight into the freaking tower itself. Plus I'm getting hit by almost every laser here. Not taking too much damage, luckily. Anyway, so now I'm like, what the frick, cockpit view? I'm shooting it, nothing's happening. What does this mean? And then I was like, maybe I'm supposed to land on it. But then, of course, landing on anything is freaking next to impossible because of the momentum that you carry. I'm still shooting at it because I'm an idiot, you know? Like, well, maybe I'm supposed to shoot at the ones that aren't blue. And I fly into that like a real idiot. And then finally I see there is an opening. But it was too late. He was already charging. I'm a firing my lasers. He was already doing that. So then I'm like, okay, wait. The blue one, there is an opening. So this time I fly straight into it. Right there. Now the fight actually begins. None of anything you do out there makes any difference whatsoever. They actually intended for you to fight the final fight in this stupid walker. Alright, so I was having a hard time aiming because the reticule thing kept messing me up. Literally, I had to reset it like almost every minute or so at this point. I was having a terrible time aiming. But then I started thinking, well, I've seen this kind of crap before. He's going to show me a weak spot, then he's going to try to hit me or grab me or whatever. I've been through, you know, the original Andross fights. I know what's going to happen. So here, I'm thinking I can destroy the hand. And, you know, this is the kind of thing that you need to do. This part of the battle I don't really have a problem with, other than the fact that I think it's kind of dumb that they intended for you to fight the final battle in a freaking crystal cage that you can only get into sometimes, and then fight in the walker, which is used in maybe 2 other levels, rather than fight in the R-Wing itself, in which you do the whole rest of the game. But the fight itself isn't that bad at this point. I'm like, okay, I mean, like, I know what to do. I'm ready to dodge or run away, you know, do the things that I need to do. It's fine, right? And then he does this thing, and I, like, blow his hand up, and I'm like, frick, yeah. But then he drops down. And so I'm like, okay, well, what's going to happen now? Well, you're about to see. He's going to do the laser thing. He ejects you through the wall if you don't get out. And that does serious damage. And I'm just like, what? Like, there's no warning. There's no way you could know that ahead of time. I mean, obviously I could sense that he was going to be powering that up, but I just figured I'd be dodging them from in there. No, there's no way to do that. Also, that was dumb. Get the ring and then still take damage. But he just throws you through the wall, and you take all kinds of damage, and I'm just like, frick you, game. So here I'm like, okay, there's an opening here. I'm gonna drop back in again. So he keeps repeating the same line like a million times, which is annoying. And right off the bat, as soon as you land in there, he crushes you. You get no warning, you get no chance to do anything, and then he starts doing this move, in which he sucks you in with his hand. And you have to shoot really fast. They almost fell in the pit, which would have been super annoying. Okay, that made no sense. Did you see that? I was way off to the side. I got, like, teleported under his hand and then shot through the wall and exploded. You might have faintly heard me freaking out, like you could barely hear that in the recording, but yeah, I was losing my mind. Well, okay, James, don't give me a hard time, okay? I thought it was just really annoying the way they did that. I understand that you glitch through things all the time in games, but it's still annoying to me that they made the final fight do that way. Admittedly, I'm nitpicking in some situations, but there are certain things about this that are just unfair. Anyway, so, yeah. Did I can't remember at what point am I even at in this. I think I just redid the whole thing here. But Did I really? Let's skip a little bit ahead. Skip ahead. Skip ahead. Okay. Let's see where he's at now. No, he's still got both the hands. I thought I edited part of this fight out. Okay, there we go. Now he's down to one hand again. But yeah, there's just little things that to me were completely unfair. Like you didn't have a chance, you didn't have warning, whatever. It was just annoying. So here we are. We're about to destroy his second hand. It's taken a lot of damage. And nope, not quite. Almost, almost. Get away. I was learning his tells at least for everything. But there's even more tells to come, as you'll find out. If the aiming reticule wasn't so janky, I would have landed a lot more hits on him too. And then here I'm like, are you kidding me? A couple more hits to his hand would have been gone. But then I have to go out and do this whole thing again. Which luckily I had learned at least my lesson and was managing to get out as quickly as I could. But then I still take some damage here, which is stupid. It's just frustrating. And then it's a matter of flying back and finding the right spot to enter by looking with the gamepad. Oh, that's right. I went to pick up a couple rings, didn't I? Because that wasn't an entry spot actually. The weird thing is you guys can't see what was going on with the gamepad, and it's kind of disorienting as far as seeing what's on the TV sometimes. But the difference between the two. Anyway, so here I'm so close. I'm just a couple shots away from destroying his stupid hand, right? Come on, come on, come on. I decided to try to get a couple hits in when it was over me, which you can, but it's really dangerous because when he flattens you like that, he does so much damage. All right, come on. Yeah, now he's doing this, which I really was bad at hitting him there. And then he grabs you, throws you against the wall. You don't go through it this time. You just get thrown against it, which I suppose didn't do a ton of damage. But then he starts doing it over and over again. And that time the angle, like, I was freaking out at this point. The angle was ridiculous. There was no way I could have shot his hand to get him off of me. But then he did this. Finally, we get to what this is. Yeah, James, you missed the beginning when I explained this. My audio was corrupted. Really, it was completely unwatchable, basically. So I decided to stream the footage, which is mostly smooth playing. It's just that there's no way that you could have heard my commentary, so that's why I decided to stream it. Anyway, so now his hands are gone. Now I'm thinking I just need to get back in there. I think I was looking for health, but I don't think there was any rings left at this point. So I just wanted to get back in there and see what it was like to fight him, what his pattern was going to be without the hands. And so then he starts doing this laser eye thing, which I, for some reason, was really bad at jumping at first. Then I almost jumped into it. Then I get hit by it again anyway. It's just like, why am I so bad? Then this happens, which eventually oh wait, he didn't do it that time. Okay. So this is the part where he just spits things at you, but this is the only time he's vulnerable. So like half your shots are going to get absorbed by the stuff he's spitting, but then you can actually get some damage in on him. Alright, so now he does this move, which I was not prepared for at all. Later, shortly thereafter, I learned the tells. So we're gonna see here. Am I gonna actually jump this one this time? I do jump this one this time. Go me. Okay, and then I'm like, oh wait, it went up twice that time, and then I get hit by that one again. So bad at this video games. And then I was like, oh wait, so the way he did his head like that is when, yeah, he's gonna charge. So he does that twice. I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm almost dead though. I'm like freaking out, like, oh please drop some health or at least stop hitting me. And then this happens, and I'm like, okay, I'm shooting him, nothing's happening. I bet I know what I have to do. I have to probably try to get into his mouth and then turn into the thing and probably hit some sort of switch. No, I wasn't able to get close enough. So we're gonna go out here, and I'm gonna be like, crap, I missed my chance, didn't I? So we have to survive another go around of this, which, as long as I'm not too stupid, isn't that hard. We're gonna fly around here, and then I'm gonna wish to goodness I had health, but I don't. So I'm gonna try to find the nearest entry hole again. Welcome, Cesar. Welcome to the stream. We're watching my messed up finale of Star Fox Zero where the audio was messed up, so we're watching it on stream. After that, we'll be playing some games. Yeah, they should play Chris Jericho's music. That'd be great. So anyway, I'm learning there the tells. I knew he was going to charge twice. I got through that. I hit a button there that made me flip around and face backwards, which was stupid. And then now he's stunned again. I'm like, okay, now I need to get in there, and I need to turn into the chicken walker, and then I'm ready to go, right? Nope, I just freaking died. I just freaking died. And it was so annoying. It was so, you have no idea the amount of rage I felt, because it made me start the entire fight over again. And I was just like, you can't be serious. You can't be serious. And here, he just kept doing this over and over again. Like, I think he did that to me 3 times in a row. And it followed it with this one, which is just even more unfair. But, yeah. You have a crazy idea for a new game? What is it? But, yeah, so then it's like, he's never given me one of the open shots here, which is just really making me sad. Up until that spot where he started throwing me, though, I hadn't taken a single hit. I was really proud of that. So there's still rings and stuff outside, except here where I'm, like, falling and being an idiot. And I just decide I'm going to bail, because he's going to end up triggering that anyway in a minute. So I go outside so that I can start working on getting the rings. Now here you'll see that I'm doing the backwards trick, where I found it was easier to dodge the beams if I was facing away. So I do recommend that to anybody that tries to do this. But anyway, so then I'm going to go get some rings to refill my health, which is wise, honestly. Corey in the house in India. Call it curry in the house. That's pretty fantastic. Whenever Link70222 gets here tonight, you'll have to tell him that one, because he's a huge Corey in the house fan. Alright, anyway, so I got hit there just because I was impatient. I wanted to hit the hand, and I knew he wasn't going to give me a freaking chance. And then he starts doing this again. Luckily, I managed to stop him from fully grabbing me, but then I still get hit anyway. Then I'm facing the wall. Then he's sucking me in again. Finally destroyed again. So now we're back to where we were before. And I think I just leave here. Yeah, I just leave here because I was pretty sure he was just going to do this anyway. So I just decided to bail. I'm facing away again. That's a good trick for dodging. And so I'm thinking, okay, I think I have some rings left somewhere. And I do. There's one, like, well, I'm pointing out. There's no point doing that, but you can see him up there in the top left. I'm thinking I should go for that. I'm having a hard time seeing and aiming because of the gamepad thing. And I'm trying to, like, air brake to get up there. There we go. We got it. There is another one on the other side. I can't remember if I go and get it or not, though. I think I saw it here. Well, there's one here, too. But anyway, this whole thing is so disorienting, though. And then all of a sudden he started doing this again, and I'm like, oh, come on. I almost flew straight into it, which would have been really bad. But yeah, doing it backwards is just so much easier, this part. I don't know why that is. Sure. It brings back a legend, huh? That sounds cool. Here I'm trying to get in here, gonna grab the ring, and then now we're going in here at full health with him in his head form. So it's like, this is it. This is like make or break for me, because at this point I was losing it. I was raging so hard, having had to do this over and over again. There was actually one death that I edited out at this point, where I was just like raging and ranting. Anyway, so I've learned his tells. I'm ready for what he has to throw at me. I used that bomb there to just speed up this portion of it. except I didn't aim it very well, unfortunately. But then I noticed he's going to do his charge thing, so I run away. And now he's doing the beams again. Which I learned that you can hover for a long time, so I just started doing it sooner so that I'd make sure that I would clear it. But he goes really fast here at the end, and then he does it twice, which he hadn't done the low one twice in a row on that one, so it's like, ah, come on. Yeah, I wish you guys could hear it too, like, in the moment, there was some funny stuff where I was totally losing it, but like I said, the audio was corrupted. The only part that was really salvageable, you're going to hear at the end, which is my closing thoughts when the credits roll, and I'll let you guys hear that. But it's unfortunate. As you can see, even the video was glitching a bit here and there, which was luckily it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So anyway, I get him up to this point again, right? And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to hit the shiny things? And then I realized that the targeting thing is kind of behind him. Like, I don't realize it yet, apparently. But you'll see that that Zeal targeting thing is behind him. So I start running around the room. But then, of course, he's going to dive down. So I don't see it yet. But basically, you need to get behind him. Of course, here I'm like, oh, crap, I got to get out. Got to get out. I got to get out. And then I missed it. And then I'm going to get ejected. So we took that damage, but whatever. And then we took that damage. Anyway, but you do have to get behind him. It's not clear, though, because the targeting thing can be seen through him. But it is... Yeah, you do have to get behind him. Harambe in the house. The memes. The dank memes. Alright, anyway. So now we're back to this point. Again. We got to get him back to being stunned, so he's going to do his charge thing like twice, I think. No, he does the beams now. Okay. So we just have to survive a wave of this, get in a couple more shots, and he'll go back to being stunned. Alright, jump that, and again, I didn't fall for it that time. So we're going to run over here, he's charging, and there we go. Now it's time to shoot... glowing center again. And that's when I realized I run far enough around him that you do indeed have to get behind him to deal him damage. It just should be more obvious than I feel than that, but whatever. So then he's going to start this again. We did very little real damage to him. We hit him a couple times because I didn't realize that's what I needed to do. Oh, having some internet troubles? That's too bad, Mr. McBlame. Alright. So, I'm just trying to survive. He's doing the head shake, which means he's going to charge. Twitch said you were playing Batman again. No, I definitely updated the title. So, let's try to get in here, get him stunned. Now I'm running full speed and boosting to get around behind him. Hammer away, hammer away, hammer away.
Crap! Yes!
I swear if you've got another form, I will freaking throw this game out there. I was able to piece that in. It was loud, but basically, I don't know if you noticed it, but I said if you have another form, I'm going to throw this game out the window. But guess what? The game isn't quite over yet. Do you like Overwatch? I actually don't own Overwatch, but I do like watching people play it. Yeah. So anyway, this isn't over with yet, and here I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? If you kill me, I'm going to have to do the whole thing over again. You have to dodge him. It's not that difficult, but I was already, like, shaking, because I was like, if I had to do this again, I would freak out. And so I'm having to sit here and dodge him, and I'm trying to think, is he simply just going to dodge one side or the other? If he does, then that's not too bad, but I was panicking, right? And then here comes James McLeod, who I don't know if he's dead, or if he's been trapped in limbo, or what the plot is here, but he comes flying in, he distracts Andros, who's going to get sucked back into the dimensional rift. and blow up, I guess, or something. I'm not really sure if he died or not. It's hard to say. Anyway, and then we're gonna get partially blown up and get spat out of the portal, and mission complete. Guys, I tell you, I was a mess at the end of this. Like, I was glad it was over, but frick my life. But yeah, so Fox is looking around. He's like, "Where's my dad? How did that happen? What's going on?" All right, so at some point in here, I start doing my closing thoughts, and I want to make sure that you guys can hear that more clearly. I'm gonna crank the volume for that part. All right, it's somewhere in here. So I'm gonna actually stop the music real quick and crank the volume so you guys can hear it. So if you've had your volume up, be careful. All right. All right, so final thoughts time. I may have said some disparaging things during that finale battle or final battle there. Depending on how I edit it anyway. I was pretty mad at some things about that fight and just about the last few things in general. I kind of bit my tongue earlier in the game to not like crap all over things about the game, but there's a lot of things with the controls, with the aiming, switching between the gamepad and the TV, things that you miss so easily that were really frustrating. I like the game. I like that it's a Star Fox game because I love this series. Star Fox 64 is without a doubt my favorite game of all time, but this doesn't stack up to that. And I would go so far as to say, just by the hindering controls and certain little quirks about it, that I'm not sure I would put this ahead of anything other than maybe the original SNES game, because the original SNES game was brutally difficult, had terrible controls, and while it was innovative for the time, it isn't innovative anymore. But I don't think I can put this ahead of Star Fox 64, Star Fox Assault, Star Fox Adventures, even though it's a completely different type of game. The only other one I think I would probably put it ahead of is Star Fox DS, or what is it called? Star Fox Command, or whatever. So yeah, I guess it ranks somewhere in the middle for me because of the controls, because of the reticule constantly needing to be reset for some unknown reason. Now we get our Star Fox award ceremony. But I like things about it. I like that it's a Star Fox game. I like that it paid so much respect to the original
Star
games.
Fox, we are forever in your debt. There's a place for you in the Cornerian army, if you want it.
Sorry, General. We like doing things our own way.
The Great Fox is ready to go.
Ready to go!
Star Fox, move out!
But yeah, I like things about it. I think some of the vehicles were innovative, but I don't like the gyrocopter at all. And the fact that they made us do that incredibly long mission in just the gyrocopter, that one frustrated me pretty badly. But I guess it was like when you're in the submarine or whatever, in that one Star Fox 64 level, it's just like you're randomly in a new vehicle that you never use again. It was kind of like that, I guess. But I like the submarine more. So, yeah, my final thoughts on this are that I like things about this game, but I also hate things about this game. Will I play it again? Yeah, because I want to unlock the best path and see what else there is. Will I be Let's Playing that? No. What I'll probably do is like practice a bit off screen to like learn the paths and what I need to do. And then I'll probably stream attempts at completing the hard path or whatever they're calling it, the alternate path. And then, so yeah, eventually it'll be on YouTube, but it'll be a stream probably whenever I do tackle this again. I also have Star Fox Guard, and I've decided that I'm probably going to do a stream of that at some point too, even though people told me it's pretty terrible. I want to check it out. But finally, I have to say to people who donated, thank you. I'm glad I got to experience this. I'm glad that you guys felt like donating to this was something you wanted to see and to help me be able to play a game I was looking forward to. I hope that you enjoyed watching it, even if I may have complained quite a bit through that final battle. Depending on how I edit it, I might edit some of that out because I was ranting at one point. Not a real reason. To our wingman who fell in battle. Oh. But again, thank you for all the support, for all the likes and comments on the videos, and for the donations that led to getting this game. I appreciate it. And I don't think they're going to show anything else. I think we're just going to get text credits from here out, so I'm probably just going to end the video here. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time for a new project, or jumping back onto an old one, because I'm so far behind on everything that's probably what's going to end up happening, but hey, who knows? And as for our next donation goal, I'll be putting up a video about that, because I keep changing my mind about what we should do for that. But always know that if you do donate, that it's always going to go to making the channel better. So that's a good thing. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time for more. Be sure to like if you enjoyed, share with your friends, subscribe if you're new to join the Wolf Pack. And yeah, this is John, signing out.
This is one steep bill, but it's worth it.
Oh, heck yeah. Give me that money, dude. That sweet muns. Yep, I said sweet muns. That was the thing that I said. Frick my life. But anyway, so yeah, that is it. That is how it ended. It was supposed to be a series of videos to finish out the Let's Play. It wasn't, but we got through it anyway. I was able to share that with you, and at least my final thoughts were able to be heard, so that's good. But yeah, just to cap that off, I'll just say that it was an experience, and I like things about the game, but I absolutely hate some of the things about the game, and I'm sorry that we waited so long for a new Star Fox game for it to just be there. It exists. But yeah, sweet muns. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, but yeah, to go on what you guys were talking about with the whole sound of the voice thing. It originally, like way back before I did YouTube, if I recorded my voice, I would think, man, I don't know who that is. That doesn't even sound like me. That's alien to me. Like, what the frick? And then even when I started recording, of course, if you watch my earliest videos, my commentary was way different. I was really quiet for a lot of it. But even then it was weird. But as I've gone on, I feel like I've developed what I like to call my commentary voice. And it's different than just my average sitting around talking to somebody, like, casually. because I project my voice. And I've edited so many videos and watched so many of my own videos back. I almost feel like subconsciously I've like leveled it out, so that basically the voice that I hear in the videos is the same voice I hear in my head. Um, which is weird, and it maybe has something to do with listening to it so much, or I've just made myself believe that. But I feel like I've just created like this alternate, you know, level of volume and range that I use when I do this kind of stuff. I think like when I'm super tired or something, like my more natural kind of mumbly low tone comes out. But yeah, I'm just used to it now. It was definitely something that was weird at the beginning, but yeah, not really anymore. But anyway, so that's that. That's Star Fox Zero. We did it. We did it, Reddit. Um, it was a thing. Unfortunately, not the most amazing game in the world, but it was okay. It was okay. It had a high bar that they didn't clear because so many of us love the originals. But yeah, what I will say is that someday I'm going to play um, Star Fox Assault, which is the GameCube game. And while even it doesn't stack up high against like Star Fox 64 for me, it's one of those games that took new ideas and mixed it with the old ideas, and it came out pretty well. It does have its quirks too, but it is a game that I want to play through someday, and I think on stream would be a good place to do that. But it was definitely a thing.